I don't know who is dumber, men or women, to be honest. The reason I asked the question because I didn't know. I bet y'all thought I knew, huh? You thought Jesse would have an answer for this. No, I don't know who is dumber. Because when I counsel, and I counsel with people around the world every day, they all say the same thing. They all do the same thing. They all have the same problems, no different. And they all try to get something from one another. They're trying to get love. They're trying to get companionship. They're trying to get something. They're trying to fulfill loneliness. You're not going to fulfill that through another human being. You got to overcome that. That's why marriages don't work, because men and women are fighting for love. They're trying to get something from each other, and neither have it to give. That question about women needing men to find God, to make it short, how many people believe that? Women need men to find God. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the rest of you, 5. And the rest of you don't believe that? Who don't believe it? Why don't you believe it?
I mean, I think anyone could find God through themselves. They don't need a man to do it. Because not everyone has a man in their life necessarily.
You're absolutely right. You don't need a man to find God, ladies. The problem with all human beings is that they resent their fathers. They've been turned away from their earthly fathers. And when you resent your earthly father, you're turned away from God. When your mother turned you away from your father, she turned you away from God. And recreates you in her image. And the mother's image is evil. The mother image is of the devil, because Satan is the woman's God and the God above is the man God. And so all human beings, and most women don't know this, but all human beings who are born, all human beings are born through the woman. So that's how you're born into sin, because the mother recreates her image, take away your innocence and makes you angry. The same spirit that's driving her is now driving you. And so you cannot love God and love the devil too, love evil. And so it's the mother. So as long as you're turned away from your father, you're never going to know God. That's why God said you got to forgive. If you can't love your earthly father, you cannot love God. Because how can you love God or whom you never seen and hate your father who you have seen? And men represent God on earth. They're sons of God. They're the light of the world and the salt of the earth. And so, ladies, if you forgive your mothers, like men have to do, and forgive your mothers for turning you away from the Father, in return turning you away from God. You forgive your mothers, God will forgive you, and forgive your father for not protecting you from mother, because he got involved with the spirit in your mother is the same spirit in his mother, and you become attracted to what you hate. So the father does not know how to deal with his wife, because he didn't know how to deal with, the father does not know how to deal with his wife because he didn't know how to deal with his mother. His father never helped him forgive the mother. So as long as you love your earthly father, you don't need a man for that. But you gotta love your earthly father. And love means don't resent. Just forgive your father. They couldn't help it. Your mother couldn't help it. She became like her mother. And once you love your earthly father, it's so easy to go right back to God. But you're not going to get to God until you forgive your father and mother. You don't need men, because men are lost too. The men have the exact problem that the women have. They are angry, they're emotional, they look to women to lead them. They are afraid to be honest and speak up to women because they're afraid of their mothers. And women, how are women going to look up to that? Women, you must do the same thing that men do, and that is to forgive your mother and father. Once you do that, and then learn to be still, stop all this hooping and hollering and carrying on praying and stuff like that, and you're going to see that when you forgive, truly forgive, the spirit of anger will be taken away from you. Because the spirit of anger is an evil spirit. There's no love in anger. Anger is pure wicked. wickedness. It has no love because it's of your father, the devil. And the devil doesn't have love. The devil wants your soul, and he is pretending to be God. He's saying and act and think he's doing exactly what God's doing. And in your imagination, you're listening to the devil, calling it God. That's why God said that all thoughts are all lies all the time. All lies all the time about who you are, what you should be, what you should do, where you should go. It's all lies, the way you should feel. And I promise you, I absolutely promise you, when you get rid of the anger, fear will disappear, depression will disappear, suicidal thoughts will disappear, loneliness will disappear, this need that you have to have somebody. I don't know who is dumber, men or women, to be honest. The reason I asked the question because I didn't know. I bet y'all thought I knew, huh? You thought Jesse have an answer for this. No, I don't know who is dumber. Because when I counsel, and I counsel with people around the world every day, they all say the same thing. They all do the same thing. They all have the same problems. No different. And they all try to get something from one another. They're trying to get love. They're trying to get companionship. They're trying to get something. They're trying to fulfill loneliness. And you're not going to fulfill that through another human being. You got to overcome that. That's why marriages don't work. Because men and women are fighting for love. They're trying to get something from each other and neither have it to give. This is why you take this path, this straight and narrow path. You have to travel this path alone. You cannot travel with anyone else. You can't take your children. You can't take your mother, your father, your husband, your wife. You have to get on this path because most people don't want to work on themselves. They love their hell. And if you're on that path to coming back to the Father, if your husband is not, or your wife is not, or your friends are not, they're going to try to stop you because the darkness hates the light. And they're going to try to, all they get, your parents, mothers are turning children, families away from, when kids go to the mother and say, Mother, I forgive you, what you done, she get mad, not all but most, and she would go and build an army against the kid. Johnny Mae told me she hate me. She ain't all I've done for her. And she'll turn the whole family, and the family, because they're weak, they'll join forth with the mother and start a war against the kid. And like what you were saying about when husbands given to wives, they have given up. They can't deal with the wife. And then they'll say, well, I have to go to my wife because my wife can't deal with me. And it's not as what she put up with. The woman don't put up with anything. She loves your misery. She loves for you to be miserable, because they give her a false thrill. When a woman can make the man angry, she is getting a thrill from it. It feels good to make him angry. And then as soon as she gets him angry, she'll go and make him a good meal. Because now she has control over him. It's all about the thrill. And men who are mean to their wives, the same thing. This means I don't know who's dumber. And the men do this. I counsel with men right now. The wives have apologized for what they did. I'm sorry, I was wrong. And the man won't let her forget it. He's constantly reminding her what she did. Well, you did this, and you did that. He all in his head making up stuff. And I'm like, why do you stay with him? Why don't you just leave? It's your world. You don't have to stay in that hell. Leave that hell alone. You're not obligated by God to stay in your hell. He made it so you can be free. And so you don't have to put up with it. Psychologically, you don't have to put up with it. Or physically, you don't have to put up with it. But men and women put up with each other hell. It doesn't even make sense, except that they love the thrill of the hell. You hear men and women say after the fight, everything else was good. They love the fight because it feels good later. That's a thrill. That's not love. You are created to be free. You are not created to be angry, emotional, lonely, suicidal thought, drug addicts and alcoholics and or anything. Christ came and he made us free. He said our sins have been forgiven. You're not even a sinner. The only salvation you have to do is from the heart. Forgive, then you can honor your parents in the right way. You don't have to take care of them. You don't have to have them over for dinner. Don't let them come over and destroy your marriage. That's why God said when a man get married, he should take his wife far away from her family and his, because I promise you, if you leave your wife next door to mama, mama gonna come and destroy it. If you leave your wife, both mama, his mama or her mother, if you leave your family next to your mother, she's gonna destroy the family, because she's jealous of the son with the wife. She hate that. And she'll do whatever she can to destroy her. You say, Mama, babysit for me today. And she will. Don't get the kids any apples today. Don't let them have apples. As soon as the mother leave the house, the grandmama going to say, here's an apple. Don't tell your mama. She's going to do to your children what she's done to you. But you must forgive, and you're going to live in the present, and you're going to see clearly, and you're going to be free because you're living in your world. The kingdom of heaven is within us. And so you don't need a man to overcome that. You just need to love the man, your father, meaning don't resent him. All human beings need, because you're not going to get to God as long as you resent your father. That turns you away from your father. And mothers will turn you away from your father. She will. Forgive her. She can't help it. Forgive your mother. And then you're back to God, because through your father you will go back to him. And don't let anyone do what you want, but don't let anyone ever do what you want, but don't let anyone ever again tell you that human nature, human anger is good. It's not. It is evil. That's why we have wars in the world. That's why the races are divided. Look how dumb it is to think that racism exists. But most people think racism exists. It doesn't even exist. It's a made-up lie. It's the hatred of the heart. And we're supposed to love. If you're of God, you love even your enemy. But people don't love one another. They hate one another because their hearts are wicked. Salvation is of the heart. And if you get rid of that anger, you're going to have perfect love. We come from God, and you're going to treat everybody the same. No matter what their race, male or female, there will be no different. No matter where you are or who you're in front of, you're going to be the same all the time, because you're going to treat everybody the same, whether they're president or secretary. But you got to come out of your imagination. You're not going to come out until you forgive. All thoughts, all lies, all the time, about anything. And last thing, for marriage couples, if the wife is working on herself and the husband is working on himself, there will be no war in the family. And you will have a marriage that will last until death do you part. Because you'll be one with the Father. You wouldn't be trying to get anything from her, and she would not be trying to get anything from you. The only reason wars are happening because you have hatred in your heart. Anger is evil. Anger is not good. Don't let a psychiatrist or psychologist tell you that. They'll take all your money and then they give you pills. And then they tell you this is normal. It is not normal to be angry. And once you drop that anger, you would never judge yourself or anyone else again. And in closing, you're neither a sinner nor a saint. You're neither right nor wrong. You're neither good nor evil. Evil is working through you until you're born again of the Father, and then good is working through you. You can only have one God. And God said, read that verse for me, hey, God, and then I'm closing. God said, do not trust an angry person. Anyone that has anger is a murderer. Anyone that has anger is is evil. Think about this. If God wanted you to have anger, why would he tell you not to trust an angry person? Why would he tell you that anger is evil, that an angry person is a murderer? They would turn on you just like that. I don't care who it is. Here's the verse I want you to hear.
1 John 3:15.
A little louder.
1 John 3:15. Anyone who hates his brother is a murderer, and you are well aware that no murderer has eternal life remaining in him.
You're not going to get in. That's why he said, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive first, because the darkness does not like the light. Forgive your parents, and then you can honor them in the right way. When they get old, if you don't want to be bothered with them, put them in an orphan home. You'll be fine. You won't feel guilty about it. And mama won't be able to say, oh, I had you. I did all my best for you. And you're going to put me in an orphan home. Yep, I'm putting you in an orphan home. That was your life. I didn't tell you to have me. You were supposed to take care of me. That was your job. I didn't make any promissory note in heaven that I'm going to take care of mama. So drop the anger. Anger is evil. You drop the anger by forgiving your parents first, and you'll be free. And do the silent prayer. Be still. All that hooping and hollering, oh, God, help me. Bless my mama, bless my daddy. Have mercy, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. All that crap. It's a waste of time. It's all ego prayer. It's nothing but vanity. He said to be still and know me. I already know your needs. I'll take care of you. You let go. The best thing you can do in your life today is let go, and he will take care of all your needs. He really will. And don't be in competition for anything. Don't try to win anything. You're already a winner. You just don't know it because you're living in your imagination. If you compete with someone in track and field or whatever, you go out there and do your best to win the game, but not to compete. You're going to win every time. Be your best at whatever you do, you can't lose. But don't compete because all it does is bring stress and worry. It makes you feel less than. Yes, sir.
You ever feel angry?
Never. I never feel angry.
Never?
It was
Never.
when I went and forgave my mother, because I didn't know, like everybody else, I didn't know I resented my mother. My mother seemed to be a nice lady, Christian lady and a loving lady. She had a whole bunch of kids. And I didn't know that until I asked God to let me see, why am I so emotional? Why do I have fear? Why do I get angry at things? Why I used to date a lot, and every woman I date was just like mama. I'm like, how come I can deal with women? I didn't realize I was attracted to what I hated, so I did that. So when I went and forgave my mother and my father, he took the spirit of anger away 35 years ago. I've never felt anger again. I couldn't even do the work I'd do if I felt anger, because human hearts are evil, and they hate the light, and they come after you to destroy you. But I understand they can't help it. They can't see. Do you get angry sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you heard me say forgive your mother?
Yes, today.
Have you? Oh, just the first day?
Yeah, this is my first day here.
Oh, this is your first time here. Do you notice that you get irritated at your mother at times? You get angry at her?
Well, my mother's deceased, but I do get irritated at my father a lot.
Yeah. Forgive him. You got to go to him. He cannot help it. The same irritating that you're feeling, it's the same thing that he's feeling. The same spirit. He can't help it. So when you go and say, hey, I'm sorry for resenting you, I realize now you can't help yourself. Once you see it for good, you forgive him and God will forgive you. If he admit that he's done these things, fine. If he doesn't, fine. If he says he's wrong, fine. If he blames somebody else, whatever he does is on him. You forgive him, and I promise you God will take the spirit of anger away from you. Because anyone that has anger, judge. And judgment is hatred. Anyone that has hatred, playing God. How old were you when your mother expired?
8 years old.
8 years old? Mm-hmm. Oh, so you didn't know her that well?
I did know her pretty well. Yeah.
How do you feel about her dying?
It was pretty devastating, but I've gotten over it over time, and I've coped pretty well, I would say.
Yeah. And so you were raised by your father from that point forward?
Yes, and my grandparents for a little while.
Oh, okay. Well, forgive them, all right? Because I'm telling you again, once you forgive them, the spirit of anger will be taken away from you. And then when you deal with the issues in life, they won't bother you. They'll just be issues outside of you. You won't have stress or anything. The stress will be on the outside but not inside, and you will have perfect peace, no matter what happens, all right?
Yeah.
And then do the silent prayer so you can be still and allow the truth to come in and take over. God wants to take over your life, but if you don't be still, he can't do it, all right? So forgive him and do the silent prayer. Any other question about that?
Nope.
All right. And the anger will be, and by you being young, you get over that anger now, man, you're going to have an amazing life. All right? Nice. Any question about any of this? Would anybody disagree with any of this? So listen, I'm telling you, without a doubt, do not be deceived. Anger is evil. Don't let people tell you human nature is the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way. Look at what's happening in this country with the angry people. Look at your own family. Look how screwed up the families are. If anger was good, why are the families so screwed up? Everybody has anger in the family. It's not working. Anger is evil. Innocent children cannot have the anger in the parents. That's why eventually they're like innocent when they're first born. And if the mother or father is angry, they become angry and they start to become just like their parents. Angry, the lack of patience, they start fighting with one another and everything. Anger is not good, folks. Anger is evil. God did not give you a spirit of anger. That came straight out of hell. So forgive, all right? So you'll be free.